Kahalo Yahweh, Basham Yahweh Hamashiach, the Rakatawa Raka. That's all praises to the Most High. We do so in the name of His only begotten Son, who the inhabitants of the earth ignorantly call Jesus Christ. So, we are the Israelites and the descendants of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, as you so-called Negroes, Hispanics, and Native Americans of indigenous descent. So today we're going to talk about the Sabbath day. You know, today marks the day of the new moon, and so right, let's get right into it. Let's get Exodus 28. Let's get the letter. Right. So, in the laws of God, it reads, Exodus 28, remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy. 6 days shalt thou labor and do all thy work, you know. But the seventh day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that is within the gates. For in 6 days the Lord made heaven and earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Wherefore the Lord blessed the Sabbath day and hallowed it. Right. So, right. So, the lunar Sabbath goes like this, right? So you have 6 working days, you know, and then you have the new moon day, and then you have the Sabbath days, right? The new moon is likened unto a Sabbath day, but it ain't uh, a Sabbath day in that you can still um, kindle fire on the new moon days, but not the Sabbath day, because in the law it specifically says that you can kindle fire on the Sabbath day, right? So 6 days you do work, and then on the Sabbath day it's your rest, right? The Sabbath day will be the 8th day of the month, and in here it doesn't tell you of the month. It just says 6 days and then the seventh day, right? That's why a lot of brother in Akim get confused when it comes to the lunar Sabbath, because our forefathers didn't um go off a Gregorian calendar, which is newly invented, in a modern age. You just can't you just can't keep counting 6 days. You just can't keep counting 6 days and then the seventh over and over and over again and expecting that you're keeping the Sabbath day, right? Because before the Gregorian calendar, there were other calendars too, like for instance the Julian calendar, where there was 8 days of the week. So how will we know that the Friday or Saturday, when they transition from the calendars, like what day of the week did they transition over from the last calendar? How do we really know that Friday and Saturday is the seventh day of the week, and Sunday and Monday is the first day of the week? So we have to go off the things that the Lord, the signs that the Lord gave us, in the heavens, so we can tell the time. And a lot of brothers like to go to Genesis 1:14, and try to say that on the fourth day, God made the moon. So if God made the moon on the fourth day, then how can we tell? How can we count from that day when it was made on the fourth day? They have to understand that we weren't given the law until we wasn't given the law of the Sabbath until we got the laws from Moses, on Mount Sinai. So before then, nobody wasn't keeping, you know, a biblical Sabbath day. They might have rest one day out of the week, um, but it wasn't a commandment given from God, right? So, so we wasn't only given a Sabbath day until we received the laws from Moses. And so, Genesis 1 and 14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the firmament of the heavens to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years." So those lights in the firmaments is supposed to be signs for us to tell when the seasons are changing or about to change. What day of the year that we are in. And what day it is. So and we have to understand that 1,000 years to the Lord, so like 1,000 years to us is as a day to the Lord, as Peter has said in uh Second Peter 3. Oh, I spelled Peter wrong. Second Peter 3:8. But beloved, be not ignorant of this one thing, that one day is with the Lord as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is one day. So in the creation, to the Lord, all those things was created in one day. But for us, in our time span, that's 1,000 years each. So on the fourth day, in the midst of that 1,000 years, the Lord made all of that what He listed on the fourth day. And another precept to back up, because some people would say, well, this scripture right here is just talking about, you know, the prophecies is on the Lord's time, which is true, but um, but the scriptures is plain, even though he's talking about the Lord ain't slack, concerning his promises, but but Peter got this scripture, got that understanding from somewhere in the scriptures, and he got it from Psalms 90:4. For 1,000 years in thy sight are but as yesterday when it is past, and as a watch in the night. So we understand. So our men of old, knew that 1,000 years to the Lord is a day. 1,000 years to us is a day for the Lord. So the Most High gave us the lights, which are the stars, sun, and the moon, to be for signs, seasons, days, and years. The season, days, and years is not only time, but how we supposed to keep track of it, as well. So while we're in the book of Psalms, let's go to Psalms 104, 104 and 19. Right, so He appointed the moon for seasons, the sun knoweth his going down. And if you look at that word moon in the Hebrew, da, 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 here it is. You look at the Strongs. Let's just
Strong's H3394. Yareach.
right.
Yareach.
So let's look up the Strongs here. Because the moon also means month in the Hebrew, hold on, Slakia. I'm looking for, which one was this one? Uh, that was Psalms 104:19. Slakia, let's just keep going on. First Genesis. I mean Slakia. I'm not doing. Genesis 1:14. Oh, Genesis 1:5. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night, and the evening and the morning was the first day. So the day begins when the evening comes. So evening into morning will be a whole day, right? Uh, Daniel 7:25. Right. So Daniel 7:25, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand unto a time and times and the dividing of times. Right. So uh, the elite, the rules of this world has changed the laws of time and the ordinance and how we keep track of time and the seasons. That's why uh, people think that the new year starts in the dead of winter. Between December and January. When nothing ain't really growing outside. The new year really starts in the springtime when things begin to grow. That's why Slack. That's why they have to keep adjusting days, years, and time to keep up with their inconsistencies in their mythology, right? That's why there's such things as daylight time savings and all of this nonsense. That's why during the year sometimes February will have 29 months, or in different years February will have 28 months, right? Is it February though? Hold on, Slack, yeah. February. Right. So yeah. Um but the Most High's time is absolutely perfect, and he foretold to us how to keep it correctly, you know. So Psalms 81. Psalms 81:3. Blow up the trumpet in the moon in a time appointed on our solemn feast day. What the hell? So right, so we blow up the trumpet in the new moon on our solemn feast days, because the new moon, it lets us know what feast days is going to happen throughout that whole month. Um, Lamentations 2:6. And he hath violently taken away his tabernacle as if it were of a garden. He hath destroyed his places of the assembly. Yahweh hath caused the solemn feast and Sabbath to be forgotten in Zion, and hath despised in the indignation of his anger the king and the priest, you know. So the Lord calls us to forget all these things because of our disobedience to him. And the ones, so he put us in a situation where the ones who really love him and seeking after him are going to be the ones to find out the correct way that he likes, you know, to follow his ways, you know, because people, there was a whole lot of Israelites that was born in the land that didn't really rock with the Most High, but because of the uh the judges and the people in the land, they had to abide by the laws of the land, even though they didn't like it, right? So that's that's when the wicked of our people began to multiply and increase, and then the slackness of the law began to increase, and then you get a generation of people who don't care about the laws of God, don't want to hear the laws of God, and did what they wanted to do, right? So this is all according to the Lord's plan. You know, he knew he's like he got his chosen people, his chosen line, and amongst his chosen line, he's gonna have an elect amount of his chosen that's going to come back to him, you know, in the last days, right? So I guess that's just his way of of sifting out, you know, the ones who are truly, you know, that ain't truly with the Most High, and it ain't just keeping the law because they have to, or they gonna get put, you know, to death by the judges in the land. So our job is to return to keeping the pure Sabbath and reconcile the lies we have been taught, you know. So let's go to Sirach 43, 5. Great is the Lord that made it, and his commandment runneth hastily. Um, he made the moon also to serve in her seasons for a declaration of times and a sign of the world. From the moon is the sign of feast, a light that decreaseth in her perfection, right? So people would take this verse and say that the full moon is the new moon. But if you look at other because I like to compare the translations, because King James Version 1611, it ain't, I mean, it's the most accurate translation out there, but you know, the old English can trip up a lot of people, you know, because modern day English has changed a lot of the meaning of words, you know, and how sentences are structured after commas. So let's look that up. Sirach 43. Right, so here in the GNT, it says, uh, Good News Translation, the moon determines the holy day. Its light grows full, right? And then it grows dim, you know? So sometimes we have to go to other translations to get a better understanding, you know? Because now the King James Version doesn't do justice all the time, right? So, verse 8, the month is called after her name, increasing wonderfully in her changing, being an instrument of the armies above, shining in the firmament of heaven. The beauty of heaven, the glory of the stars, an ornament giving light in the highest places of the Lord. It says plainly you can tell the months through the new moon, you know? Um, so that's why when you have the new moon come in, that's the first day, right? So, I'm gonna get some more scriptures, and then I'm gonna go into this calendar right here. So let's get some more testimonies. More testimonies. What else I want? First Samuel 20, 25. First Samuel 20, 25. And the king sat upon his seat as at other times, even upon a seat by the wall. And Jonathan arose, and Abner sat by Saul's side, and David's place was empty. Nevertheless, Saul spake not anything that day, for he thought something hath befallen him. He is not clean. Surely he is not clean. So when we were not clean because of the law, example after having sex and to cleanse in the sun setting, we are unclean. So it's best when you're unclean. It's best not to, um, especially on feast days like the new moon, to come and sit in the midst of other people. Um, And it came to pass on the morrow, which was the second day of the month, that David's place was empty. And Saul said unto Jonathan his son, wherefore cometh not the son of Jesse to meet, neither yesterday nor today? Right. So let's get Leviticus 15:16. And if any man's seed of compilation go out from him, then he shall wash all his flesh in water and be unclean until the evening. So if when you ejaculate, when sperm come out of your rod, your privy member, then your seed, right? Then that man is unclean, for the rest of the day until the next evening. He has to wash himself. So that's why. Let's get another one. I say 66, 23. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith the Lord. So in the eschaton, after Christ's return, he establishes his kingdom upon the earth. Everybody's going to come to worship before Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushua, from new moon to new moon, from Sabbath to Sabbath, right? So, because the Sabbath is likened, the new moon is likened unto a Sabbath day. So, let's stay a little bit more. I can get Exodus 12. Exodus 12:2. This month shall be unto you the beginning of the month. It shall be the first month of the year unto you. So this is when this is when Moses and Aaron when this is when Yahweh has spoke to Moses and Aaron, told them that this is the beginning of the month. This is the first month of the year unto you, right? This is the first month. And so they was in the land of Egypt. So this is why I start my new moons, first day of the new moon, off of near the Holy Land. The evening of the new moon near the Holy Land, that's where I start the count for the new moon. That's how you can get an accurate count of it, and then you can just follow that evening all the way to the area you are at. This is how I'm able to keep an accurate count of the calendar, right? So because when they start the first month of the year, they was in Egypt. They was near the Holy Land. So that's a great way to start the new moon, so that there ain't any because the new moon will come in you'll think the new moon will come in where you're at, or for instance, like yesterday, um, uh, yesterday last Tuesday night, the new moon. It looked like it was a new moon, But if you look at the time where the enemy came over Jerusalem, over the Holy Land, uh, you can still see the 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 a light on the moon, So that's why I didn't start my count of the first month, because it didn't come over. It wasn't the new moon yet in the Holy Land, The new moon of the evening have to hit over the Holy Land, before it hits, and then you follow that evening over to where you're at, to get an accurate count of the lunar Sabbath and the new moons. That's just how I look at it. I'm trying to follow the the laws, the statutes, the words of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, to the best of my ability. And that's just how I see it. The new moon started. The first month started when Moses and Aaron were in the Israelites was in Egypt. So I have to go off of that, follow that evening to where I am, and then bam, that's the new moon, you know. So that's Exodus, Deuteronomy 1. Whoops. Deuteronomy 16. Observe the month of Abib and keep the Passover unto the Lord thy God in the month of Abib, which is the first day of the month. Which is the first month, Slakia, of Yahweh thy God brought thee forth out of Egypt by night. First, Chronicles 23 and 31. And to offer all burnt sacrifices to Yahweh in the Sabbath and the new moons and on the set feasts by number according to the order commanded unto them continually before Yahweh. So Isaiah 58 and 13. If thou turn away thy foot from the Sabbath day, from doing thy pleasure on my holy day, and call my Sabbath delight, the holy of the Lord honorable, and shall honor him, not doing thy own ways, nor finding thy own pleasure, nor speaking thy own words. I had looked into this, but this is really talking about the Day of Atonement. If you look at the context, of what's going on, because these markers right here, like, really shows you when context start and then context end when you see another one of these right here, these music notes, or I forget what they call it, because you gotta understand, when a prophet received the word of the Lord, he'll write this down and then write down on paper what the Lord told him, to write down. And then when you see this thing again, this note again, you'll know that that was the end of what the Lord had told him during that segment, and now he's on a different segment, and now he's writing that note and then writing down whatever the Lord told him, when the word of the Lord came unto him again, So um um but to each his own, other brothers have a different understanding on that. So now let's go to Ezekiel 46 and 1. So this is where a lot of the Friday and Saturday Sabbath keepers keep leaving out of their understanding, because Yahweh Shah told us to um, live off every word that proceeded out of the mouth of God, right? And this is thus saith Yahweh, thus saith, Adonai Yahweh, the Lord Yahweh. The gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut 6 working days. So if you look at you know, at the lunar Sabbath, right? So you got 6 working days, right? Those are these days you want to do all your work in it. The 30th day, this is a transitional day. So, but on the Sabbath it shall be open. So on the Sabbath days, these days it shall be open, right? And in the day of the new moon it shall be open, right? So these days the gates shall be open, and in the new moon it shall be open also. And then you got 6 working days to do all your work here, right? Um, and so they leave these things out of their understanding. And then if you look at Amos 8 and 5, because it says, uh, because this is a thus saith the Lord, right? Thus hath the Lord shewed unto me, and behold, a basket of summer fruit, right? So, right, saying, saying, when will the new moon be gone, that we may sell corn, and the Sabbath that we may set forth wheat, making the ephah small and the shekel great, and falsifying the balances of by deceit. So our people knew that in the new moon they couldn't sell corn, and the Sabbath is likened unto a new moon, so they couldn't set forth wheat. And they was asking, when will the new moon be gone? These are just key things that I don't leave these things out of my understanding. I don't care how much of a smooth talker anybody is, bro. You can't convince me, because I have great reading comprehension. You can't convince me that Friday and Saturday are the Sabbath, bro. It don't add up at all. That's Esau's calendar, man. Why are you trying to find a Sabbath day on Esau's calendar? And none of those brothers, they be telling people that Friday and Saturday is the Sabbath. They don't be going over Amos. They don't be reading Amos 8 and 5 to them. They don't be reading Ezekiel 46 to them. They don't be reading Psalms. It's like your Psalms, the 90th chapter, verse 4. A day to the Lord is 1,000 years. Those 6 days in creation is 1,000 years, bro. So you can't look at time the same way, that God looks at time, bro. He is different from him, man. His ways are higher than our ways, bro. He didn't give us the Sabbath day to keep until, he sent his servant Moses into us, man. Niggas need to understand these things, man. Hey, but the elect, we gonna understand these things, bro. We trying our best to teach what's thus saith the Lord, man, and leaving all that other nonsense, leaving it alone, So they knew that they couldn't buy and sell on a new moon, It'd have been a sin, you know. So I think that's all I wanted to get into. Um I think that's it on that. All right, Christ's death and resurrection, because Christ, they don't even they can't, man. I'm not like, Christ died on the 14th day, which is the the Passover, and he rose on the third day, which is the 16th day, right? They gotta understand and follow the word verbatim, bro. The 14th day Passover, 15th day, which is the Sabbath, and then afterwards on the 16th day he rose from the dead, bro. Like, it's just so easy to for the elect to understand, but the one they'll be there, bro. But as far as them getting the crown, nah, it's they causing too many people to go off, bro. You know. But with that, I want to say, I think that's all I wanted to get into. Oh yeah, it's the eighth month of the year, which is called Bul, Bul, or something like that, something to that effect. Um, I don't think we have any significant feast days this month. Next month, the ninth day of the month. Next month we have Hanukkah. Um, but this month there ain't really any significant feast days, right? So with that, I want to say call hello Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, and Shalom Akim.